It's been a long week. I've spent my entire week going around riding all the coaster credits that Myrtle Beach has to offer, and I'm here at the last one, the Funplex. Let's do it. So I really can't put this into words on a photo caption, so I'm just gonna say it. Holy crap, the hamster wheel changed my life. When you ride in the regular spinning cars, this is a perfectly serviceable family coaster. You get in that hamster wheel and suddenly it feels like you could break the inversion record just sitting there. It's ridiculous. I still don't think I like this over Swamp Fox, but this changed me. Like, I highly recommend the hamster wheel. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is quite the popular vacation destination. Day or night, there's plenty to do around here. Of course you have the beach itself and all the attractions that come with it, but beyond that you have a multitude of other tourist attractions, including an overwhelming number of mini-golf courses. One aspect that Myrtle Beach is not known for, however, is its lineup of roller coasters. There aren't many of them, only 7 in total, but there used to be more. A lot more actually, but thanks to a variety of factors over the years, those are sadly long gone. That leaves us with the 7 coasters currently operating here, so whether you're a coaster enthusiast who will be in the area, or you're just going on vacation soon and looking for stuff to do, let's rank all 7 coasters in Myrtle Beach. Number 7. Kiddie Coaster, Family Kingdom. Family Kingdom is Myrtle Beach's premier seaside amusement park, the only one left in the area since the pavilion closed back in 2006. Despite being relatively small, Family Kingdom manages to pack in a high number of attractions, and this includes 4 of the 7 coasters in Myrtle Beach. Coming in at number 7 is Kiddie Coaster, the park's, well, kiddie coaster. Why is this in last place? Well, aside from being the smallest coaster on this list, adults are strictly not allowed to ride this. That's right, unless you're a kid, you are not riding this. Parents aren't even allowed to accompany their children on the ride. I'm not sure of the reason for this, and it's definitely a rule made by the park and not the ride manufacturer, as I've ridden nearly identical Wacky Worm coasters before with no problem at all. Anyway, the layout is your standard Wacky Worm figure 8 configuration, so it's a fine kids coaster. What I don't understand is why the train is Speedy Gonzales. Between this and the park's dark ride, the Great Pistolero Roundup, somebody on management at Family Kingdom must really like Mexican culture. The park just needs a taco stand and they're all set. Let's move on to the next coaster, but don't worry, we're not going very far. Number 6. Dragon, Family Kingdom. Also located at Family Kingdom is Dragon, a coaster that only opened here last year. This is 100% a fairground coaster that was placed here to fill an empty space, and seeing as Family Kingdom was recently purchased by Power's Great American Midways, who usually rent rides to fairgrounds, this makes total sense. So although it's a traveling coaster model, I'm counting this as a permanent installation, so it's going on the list. Dragon is a fine family coaster with a straightforward layout. It's just an oval with a single helix in the middle. With that said, they do send you around a few times, otherwise the ride would be over in like 20 seconds. The track is relatively smooth for what it is, and I do like the design of the train. It does take a while to dispatch though, since they wait until the train is completely filled, so you might be sitting there a while. There's nothing really mind-blowing here, but it's still a nice addition to Family Kingdom's lineup. Number 5. Shark Party, Track Family Fun. One of 3 coasters by SBF Visa that you can find in Myrtle Beach, Shark Party operates at the Track Family Fun Center, a small complex that features an impressive multi-level go-kart track, an arcade, and a few small flat rides outside. The only coaster here is Shark Party, and it's your typical SBF Visa figure 8 spinning coaster. If you've been on one of these, then you've pretty much been on them all. But the reason I'm ranking this the worst of the 3 SBF Visa coasters on the list is because of the really nasty jolt this coaster has as you slam right back into the load and unload track. As the cars round the last turn and head back to this straight section, the coaster slams your head back into the headrest, so you really need to brace for it. They also send you around like 10 times, which you'd think would be a positive, but needing to brace for the jolt kind of hurt my enjoyment of the ride. If you like these SBF Visa spinning coasters, then you'll probably like this one, but then again, it's not necessarily something I'd recommend going out of your way for. Number 4. Myrtle Turtle, Pavilion Fun Park. Yep, another SBF Visa spinning coaster, nearly identical to Shark Party. This one is located at the popular Broadway at the Beach, the tourist hotspot with shopping, restaurants, an aquarium, and not 1 but 2 amusement park sections. So even if you're not prioritizing coasters during your visit, there's a high chance you're going to end up here anyway. I attempted to ride Myrtle Turtle on my last visit in 2018, but it was closed. 6 years later, I finally got to ride it, and yeah, it was fine. It doesn't have that jolt at the end, so it's automatically better than Shark Party, and it has a pretty nice set of lights on it, especially on the Myrtle Turtle sign. They don't send you around as many times as Shark Party, but the pavilion park areas of Broadway at the Beach see pretty high foot traffic, so they likely have to do that to keep the line moving. I love the setting of this coaster though, especially at night. Spinning around with the huge Ferris wheel towering overhead and other rides on both sides, it's a great vibe overall. There's plenty to do at Broadway at the Beach, but if you have time to grab a quick coaster credit, this is an easy recommendation. Number 3. Twist and Shout, Family Kingdom. Back to Family Kingdom we go for the second largest coaster in Myrtle Beach. Twist and Shout has had an eventful existence, having been located at 2 other parks in New Jersey and Arkansas before ending up at Family Kingdom in 2013. This is a somewhat uncommon model of Zamperla Wild Mouse with unique vehicles that look like 1950s cars, but it still provides what Wild Mouse coasters are known for, and that's insane laterals on those sharp turns that make you feel like you're going to fall off the track. This coaster really wakes you up as soon as it starts. The jolt as the car engages with the chain lift is ridiculously aggressive, as is the final slam into the brakes. They're both something you really need to brace for. Aside from that, the ride experience itself is your typical Wild Mouse layout, with great laterals through those tight turns and a few decent hills toward the end that don't give a ton of airtime, but do keep the pace going until you slam into the brakes. This isn't the best Wild Mouse I've ever been on. That honor still goes to the one at Idlewild, but Twist and Shout is by no means bad. Everyone that I saw was clearly having a great time riding it while I was getting footage, and a Wild Mouse is a great choice for a beachside setting. It's got a few jerky moments, but Twist and Shout is still a lot of fun. Number 2. Fun in the Sun, Funplex. The Funplex is the newest amusement park to open in Myrtle Beach, having opened only a few years back in 2021. This is without a doubt the smallest amusement park I've ever been to, and yet they managed to pack 7 rides in here, all of which are manufactured by SBF Visa. The largest of these is obviously Fun in the Sun, the coaster that encircles the entire park. This big air coaster model is unique in that it provides 2 different experiences depending on where you sit. The back 3 cars are identical to those found on Shark Party and Myrtle Turtle in that they rotate horizontally as the coaster runs, while the first 2 cars are what SBF call hamster wheels. The track layout is nothing to write home about. Being that it borders the park, the track is rectangular in shape with a few hills throughout. The aspect that makes this coaster so much fun then is the hamster wheel. If you sit in the back 3 cars, Fun in the Sun is a perfectly serviceable family coaster that I feel anybody can ride without too much trouble. It's when you sit in the hamster wheel that the coaster drastically elevates in quality. If you couldn't tell from the video intro, I loved riding in the hamster wheel. Those hamster wheels are ridiculous. Every hill sends you spinning uncontrollably, at least that's what it feels like. You get some excellent hang time with every inversion, and I couldn't stop laughing the entire time I was riding this coaster. They send you around 3 times too, so there are plenty of times you'll be flipping upside down. I rode by myself too, so I can only imagine how much the wheel would spin if you had 2 riders in there. The cherry on top is the great set of lights in place to accent the train as it goes around the layout. The coaster might be called Fun in the Sun, but I highly recommend riding this at night because of how good the park looks all lit up. The coaster looks unassuming just from the layout, but trust me here, that hamster wheel makes all the difference. The Funplex gets pretty busy, especially at night, as it's located right on Ocean Boulevard in the heart of Myrtle Beach, but it's well worth it to go out of your way and brave the crowds to ride this. It may not look very impressive, but Fun in the Sun is just that, fun. Number 1. Swamp Fox, Family Kingdom. The best coaster in Myrtle Beach is also the oldest coaster in Myrtle Beach, as well as one of the last seaside wooden coasters. Swamp Fox first opened back in 1966 and was designed by John C. Allen, a prolific roller coaster designer responsible for over 20 in total. I've ridden a handful of other John C. Allen coasters, including Blue Streak at Cedar Point and Skyliner at Lakemont Park. Really hope it reopens. Let's get one thing clear. I don't like Blue Streak, but I loved Skyliner. So the question going into Swamp Fox was, would I categorize it under Blue Streak or Skyliner? I'm relieved to say that it fits right in with Skyliner to me. I loved this thing. First off, it uses PTC trains, so if you've ridden Racer at Kennywood or Phoenix at Knoebels, you'll feel right at home here. With buzz bars and a seatbelt, you know there's airtime ahead, and what an airtime buffet this turned out to be. As soon as the train goes down the first drop, it's hill after hill after hill, and I was just flying out of my seat on each one. I highly recommend sitting towards the back of the train for even stronger pops of airtime. And just when you think you're at the end, Swamp Fox hits you with some ridiculous laterals on that final turn back into the station. I had heard from other people who have ridden that the coaster was uncomfortably rough. However, during my visit I noticed a lot of fresh wood on the hills, so it must have been retracked recently. I can confirm that there aren't any sections of the coaster that I found uncomfortable, outside of what a wooden coaster typically feels like. My only real complaint with Swamp Fox is the coaster's length. It's a short ride, as it only goes out, turns around, and comes back once before you reach the end. However, that also means the coaster is extremely re-rideable. I lost count of how many times I rode during my visit, and for that reason I also recommend buying the wristband, as you'll easily get your money's worth from Swamp Fox alone. Topping this coaster off is its fantastic setting. With a view of the ocean from the top of the lift hill and the lights and excitement of the park below, a ride on Swamp Fox is such a vibe, and I knew after one ride that this would be my number one on my list. Family Kingdom is already a great little park, but Swamp Fox gives it the headliner attraction that is absolutely worth visiting for, even on its own. It's got historical importance, loads of airtime, a fantastic setting, and even some laterals thrown in at the end. Swamp Fox is the complete package, and there's no doubt in my mind that it's the best coaster at Myrtle Beach. And there you have it. That's my ranking of all 7 coasters currently operating in Myrtle Beach. Not the greatest lineup of coasters for sure, but an interesting collection with a gem or two in there for good measure. Myrtle Beach is certainly not a destination for coaster enthusiasts, but if you happen to find yourself in the area, whether it's for a vacation or you're just passing by, it's worth it to seek out some of these credits. There's plenty more to do in Myrtle than just coasters, but maybe grab a credit or two while you're exploring around. And for you coaster historians, Swamp Fox has historical significance as it is, so it's probably already on your list. Some of you may disagree with how I ranked some of these coasters, and that's absolutely fine, so feel free to let me know your own personal ranking down in the comments, or you can let me know your thoughts on these coasters if you've ridden them. Also, if anyone has ridden any of the defunct Myrtle Beach coasters, please let me know how they were. I'm still bummed I never got to ride Hurricane or any of the Hard Rock Park coasters, being that I was actually at Myrtle Beach at times they both were open. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling. That's gonna do it for my ranking of the Myrtle Beach coasters. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for more coasters here on Rampaging Rex Productions.